Joann Ariola is the new minority leader in the city council, and you've taken over at a time of incredible turmoil in New York City. The governor of the state of New York has just decided to curb the powers of the mayor. I wonder what your reaction to all of that is, because it does require some city council legislation.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that she wanted to take her turn in trying to control the mayor and what he's doing after she knocked the president for trying to do it. She's doing the very same thing. And I just think that New York City needs to have a mayor that can run it properly and not be under the guidance of other elected officials. It sets a very bad precedent moving forward for other mayors to come.
So when this legislation comes to the city council, what will you do about it? I mean, there's a legislation that would allow the city council, the controller, and the public advocate to go around the corporation council if they want to sue the Trump administration if the mayor thinks it's a frivolous suit. So is that something you can support, not support? How do you feel about it?
I would absolutely not support that. That's just not democracy. That's dictatorship. And that's something that I thought Kathy Hochul was against. She took exception when President Trump put up "the king is alive and king lives," and now she's acting like a dictator. And then she's usurping the mayor and taking away his ability, binding him so that he's not able to make any decisions, all because of his affiliation with the federal government in trying to finally turn this city around and make it safe again and get illegal migrants who are committing crimes out of our city. Is that really a reason to do this?
Well, so, here's the thing. As you know, you serve in a council that has very many left-leaning politicians. So a lot of them have called for him to resign, basically because they're afraid of his relationship with President Trump. Can you understand their position, or do you think it's just scaremongering?
It's fear-mongering. I think that this is a relationship that he should have had with the previous administration, and we wouldn't be in the dire straits that we are in now if Joe Biden, when he was president, stepped up and helped us. He asked many times for help. We, as the Common Sense Caucus and the minority delegation, asked the federal government for help. We're finally getting help, the help that we need to make the city safe again, and now they want to further bind the mayor and his ability to do his job.
I think the concern is that when they go after the immigrants that are here, that some of the people who are undocumented but living productive lives and have jobs in many, many industries that New York City needs, that they may be swept up at the same time. Is that your take on it, or do you disagree?
I know for sure that we had a meeting last week with Tom Homan, and his focus is on people who have committed crimes and need to be detained and deported. Heinous crimes, rapes, murders, slashings, pushing people onto subways, and they're just getting turnstile justice, being hidden into shelters, and they're unable to be tracked. These are people who are creating havoc in our city, and they're hurting our citizens.
Earlier in this debate, before the governor acted, you had said that he shouldn't be removed, that you should let the voters decide in a primary in his party in June. But yet he still has this sort of Damocles hanging over him, because the governor didn't say, I'm never going to remove him. She just says it's still on the table. Is that good policy, bad policy? Is she trying to keep him under her thumb? What's going on?
I think she's trying to do exactly what she's accusing the president of doing. So it really hinders the mayor from being able to do his job. And he needs to do his job. He needs to make sure that this city is running. He needs to make sure that our municipal workers who were taken from their jobs because of the COVID-19 vaccine get those jobs back. He has to make sure that this city runs. And he can't run this city if he is encumbered by the governor breathing down his neck and working with the federal government to finally get what he needs, but not being able to get that done because the governor is against it. It's just, it's like a game of ping pong, and he's the ball being shot back and forth on the table.
See, as I understand it, the reason why the governor decided to act, it came after 4 deputy mayors decided to resign, saying that they didn't feel comfortable working for him because of his relationship, or whatever they perceived to be his relationship with President Trump. Do you think that that was precipitous on the part of the governor? I mean, or do you think that she felt that she had to do it because she has to try to support New York from any incursions from the White House?
I think that there has been a mass exodus from the executive branch, the mayor's office, for the last year. And the governor has done nothing about that. She worked with the mayor to put other deputy mayors in place. Those deputy mayors decided to leave. This is not the first time 4 or 5 people resigned at the same time. It is just very suspect that it's in correlation with the mayor getting federal aid to remove illegal migrants who have committed crimes here out of our city.
But see, there's another issue here, and then there's the issue of the decision by the Justice Department to drop the charges and the implication, which he denies, that there was a quid pro quo and that he had to agree to support the policies of the Trump administration, not only on immigration, but other things in exchange for the get charges dropped. Do you subscribe to that?
I don't think so. I think his lawyers have been working on getting that dismissed, his charges dismissed, for a very long time. I think he's willing to work finally with the Trump administration because the Trump administration has the right idea as to how to get this city back on track.
So do you think that these steps that the governor has taken, these guardrails that the governor's taken, go too far? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I think they're unnecessary. I think that they do go too far. I think that it sets a very bad precedent for any other mayor coming in. And it shows that the mayor really has no power whatsoever because he has to answer to so many levels of government before he can get anything done. They can even usurp his own corp counsel.
So I know that you're a Republican, but I wonder what your take is on this. In the wake of all of this, a number of Democrats are trying to recruit the council speaker, Adrienne Adams, no relation to Mayor Adams, to run for mayor. You've worked with her for several years. I wonder what your take on it in terms of her ability to be a governor and to run the city.
Well, I honestly always thought of her as a potential candidate, knowing her. I know her for many years. We go back to the times of being on community boards.
And you're both from Queens?
And we're both from Queens, and I have a very good working relationship with her. So I was surprised that she hadn't announced much sooner, and I was not shocked when she did announce. Oh, well, actually, she hasn't announced yet, but it's the worst-kept secret in New York City.
But of course, you know, there's so much else going on as well. And some people think that the reason that now there's so much pressure on her is because the governor is terrified about the idea that Andrew Cuomo might run for mayor. I wonder how you feel about that.
Well, I'm terrified that Andrew Cuomo runs for mayor. I think that people get amnesia and they forget what happened during COVID and the lives that were lost in our nursing homes and the way he handled the COVID vaccine and the fact that he had so many sexual harassment charges brought against him or accusations. You know, we cannot have amnesia anymore. We have to elect people who can run this city, who cannot be bought and sold, who do not have political baggage to bring along with them, and that just want to do the right job for this city.
So, but if you take a look at the polls show that he's the prohibitive favorite. I looked at a poll that was done the first week of February. He had 33% of the vote. The next person was Eric Adams at 10% of the vote. There's a huge gap in popularity. Is it just name recognition, or are people looking for something else?
I think that when you look at the field, Eric Adams, honestly, yes, right now he's tarnished. And I could see where his ratings would be at 10%. But look at the other people that are in, Brad Lander and Scott Stringer. These are very left-leaning mayors. We do not need another left-leaning mayor. We need a law and order mayor. We need a middle-of-the-road mayor. We need someone who can set this ship, you know, back on course. We're way off course.
Is there a chance that a Republican could win this time?
We certainly will give it our best shot. I don't know, but I'm really very interested in the down ballot candidates and in growing the delegation,
so
the minority delegation.
We have only a few seconds left. You want to get more Republicans into the city council. You have 15 seconds. You think you're going to be able to do it?
I think we're going to be able to get more city council members elected in the outer boroughs, especially Queens.
Republicans.
Republicans.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it right there for now. But our conversation continues right after the show on our streaming channel, CBS News New York. we're here with New York City Council Minority Leader Joann Ariola. You joked and you said that your mother left the E off your
Yes.
name, so it was really it's spelled without the E. But you said you've been going through life called Joan for half of your life.
Yes. I
Well, I'm
answer
gonna
to
call you
Joann.
Joann.
It's okay.
So I want to know, how would you describe your personality?
So I describe my personality as delightful until you do something, and then you will see a side of me that you really don't want to see.
Are you an introvert, an extrovert, pensive, impulsive?
No, I'm an absolute extrovert. I love people. I love to talk. My kids say they won't go anywhere with me because I linger. I love to talk to people, and I've always been that way. I can talk to a stop sign and get an answer.
So have you ever used a city bike?
I have not used a city bike.
Why not?
I just haven't had a chance to use a city bike. But this summer, I will have my grandchildren. I have 9-year-old twin grandsons.
Wow.
And they now ride without training wheels. So that would be the opportunity. Exactly.
Now you're gonna have to do it. So I'm told you're an animal lover. Are you a cat person, a dog person?
I don't have a preference. My sister she has cats. I have the most magnificent Boston Terrier. His name is Rocky, and he has a great following on Instagram and on my page. But, you know, animals are so vulnerable, and I started to work with the local rescues in the area, in the district, and I couldn't believe the atrocities.
Really?
That I saw, and how horrible people are to their animals, and mutilating animals and sacrificing animals. And in my district is Spring Creek, and there were some animal sacrifices that were going on there.
My God.
So I really did get immersed at that point, and I'm working with some wonderful groups, and we're raising money for them and raising some funds and also items for them. We continue to do work.
Why is Rocky so special to you?
Oh my gosh. If ask anyone, I'm in an abusive relationship with a Boston Terrier, but I love him so much. He's a little baby. He's 20 pounds, and he's cuddly. He's like a baby. All my kids are out of the house. I have no babies. He's my baby.
Gotcha. So what's the best job you've ever had?
This one.
This one.
This one.
You love being in the city council?
This job, I waited 20 years to do this job, and I'm not going to screw it up now. 20 years.
Wow. Well, what's the worst job?
I've never had a worse job because I've always loved to work, and I always will work. And my husband will ask me all the time, when will you retire? I said, I won't retire. I won't. I love to work. That's what inspires me, purpose.
Do you have a mischievous side?
Well, I can be mischievous.
Ever played a practical joke on anyone?
Well, we do play practical jokes in the office sometimes.
You don't have to share.
No, it's okay. But it's all in good fun.
So what was your favorite subject in grade school?
So it was always politics. I always loved history class, and I ran for student government. So it was always something that I loved.
What drew you to the Republican Party?
I'm sorry?
What drew you to the Republican Party?
So I registered as a Republican. A local president of a little league decided he was going to run for city council, and he was going to run against a 34-year incumbent. There were no term limits at the time. And so we got on his campaign, and, you know, I was working for my family's, I was a court reporter first, then working with my family's business once I had children. And I was on the campaign, and I just got bit by the bug. I loved it. I loved helping people. I loved the whole rush of politics. I loved the game. I loved all the things you could get done and how many people you could help. Went to work for him part-time, and in no time at all, I was chief of staff.
So what achievement so far, and I know you have a lot more to go, are you most proud of?
I'm probably most proud of the fact that I was able to pass a law that developed the Mayor's Office of Marine Debris Removal and Surrender that cleans Jamaica Bay and all the waterways around New York City of debris. And I am most proud of that.
So do you have any hobbies?
Work. And
I knew you were going to say
I do,
that.
but also I do have dirty little secrets. Like I watch the Kardashians late at night.
Okay.
Yes, the Kar-Jenners. Watching a train wreck, but I do watch it.
So what makes your district so special? If you were going to give somebody a tour of your district, what 2 or 3 things in your district would you say are must-sees, must-places you'd want to take them?
The beach first. 100% the beach. then you'd have to try the restaurants, and that could be in any portion of the district. In Broad Channel, you would go out to Sunset Cove and see the most magnificent sunset over the city of New York. Going up and into Ozone Park, the ethnic restaurants that we have there are incredible. Up and into Glendale, we have, well, Woodhaven first, we have such historic places like Near's Tavern. And then in Glendale, we have historic places, like Zum Stammtisch. So, I know that it sounds like there's a lot of eating, but there's a lot of good places to eat throughout the district, and a lot of historical places throughout the district. We have the Clock Tower, and it's a beautiful district of 1- and 2-family homes and some larger, larger. I live in a co-op, and it's just it's home to me. I was raised there.
Joann Ariola, Joann without the E. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you at home for joining us as well.